Welcome everybody to Wake Alive, a very special edition. The first episode of season 7 is in the books. How are you feeling, Dan Selke?
I'm feeling pretty tired, Kayla, and pretty good.
Tell the people how late you were up.
I was up very. They don't need to know that. I was up very late. 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
I was up very late watching the show, breaking it down on Winter is Coming. I had a great time, but it's just fun to be back in the swing of it, Kayla. Game of Thrones is back. It's back. We have a new episode to discuss and go over. I'm excited to do it. And we're going to break it down scene by scene with you guys here. I want you to let us know what you think, what your opinions were, how you thought of it, and we're going to respond, we're going to talk, and we're going to see what we thought about all this. Are you ready, Kayla?
I'm ready.
Okay.
This is my first one, like, for real.
I know, right?
Let's dive in.
Okay. Let's start with the opening bit.
Overall grade, first from Dan. What would you give last night's episode?
I would give it a solid B. 87 out of 100.
The first one's always like easing back in, kind of like regrouping.
It was set up, you know.
Yes.
It was a lot of you're setting the table like this, setting the scene for what's going to come next, which makes perfect sense.
Right.
You can't dive right into it. Like, you know, we had talking. We had Euron Greyjoy talking to Cersei. We had Sansa and Jon talking a lot, but we did have some propulsive stuff. But first, how about you? If you were to give it a grade, would you grade it?
B plus.
B plus. Oh, that's right where I am.
A minus. Wait, I don't know.
I think it's good. I think we're right in the same area. Give me a high five.
But yeah, we did get to see a little bit of everyone, so that was fun.
All right, let's start. I think we should start where it started in the actual show, which is Arya Stark.
Yes.
So what happened in this big first cold open, which again happens like pretty rarely on the show before the credits.
Arya started things off with a bang.
Big old bang,
which I
yes.
loved. She disguised herself as Walder Frey, and...
By the way, we are at the Twins.
Ooh, a new map.
Well, because the reason for this is now we don't have the other continent at all.
Oh,
We're
true.
all on Westeros. This is all happening in this area. This
Crazy.
is, by the way, this is from supposedly human on DeviantArt, this map. So thank you to him or her, not really sure. The Twins, somewhere in this area. Anyway, what happens here?
She disguises herself as Walder Frey and kills all of his army,
his sons,
all of his family.
His family, his sons, his probably grandsons, maybe a couple of
Poisons them with
great-grandsons.
poisoned wine, and kind of gives her big speech about like,
I like that speech.
Yeah, she's like, you've obeyed me, you slit a pregnant woman's throat, you killed a mother of 5, like, and then she's like, but you forgot a member.
Right. Leave one wolf alive and the sheep are never safe.
What
Which
a
was a good line. That was a good line.
Yeah, that was a great line.
I like her that I was like, ooh, that's good. Someone thought of that. Should be very proud of themselves.
But no, that's where we started things off, and I liked it.
Did you see it coming?
Well, obviously I knew she killed him in the last episode, so
Right,
I
me
knew
too.
she was like planning
I mean,
something.
I read some interviews when people were like, I couldn't believe it. Or just like, she said, like, I hope people didn't see it coming. I'm like, how could they not? Like, we know he's dead.
Right.
But it was still fun.
And let's give everyone a glass of wine.
I do wonder how she managed all that, like where she hid the real Walder Frey's body and whether, like, how people were all in on it. And I guess nobody was. And where she got all the poison.
Yeah.
She's a one-woman murder machine, this girl, at this point.
I like her character. I'm excited to see what she's going to do next.
It is exciting. I mean, again, I always ask this question for you when this kind of thing happens, and it seems to be happening all the time. Quick, Kenny Adamo, who I'm glad you made the switch to 10 a.m. at Mondays, Kenny, asks, so are all the Freys gone? Isn't Ed Muir still in his cell? Remember, Ed Muir Tully, Arya's uncle, the Walder Frey's keeping him prisoner, or was last time we saw him. I'm not sure where he is.
Wasn't he the one that was used as like a bargaining
chip?
chip?
Yeah, he used as a bargaining chip. He's probably still in there, but I'm not sure. Perhaps we'll see what happens to him next week. But for the moment, Arya moves on. And is on her way to King's Landing to kill Cersei.
Kill the queen.
Like she's been wanting to do for a long time.
Yes.
And she runs into some Lannister soldiers, including...
And some Ed Sheeran.
Mr. Ed Sheeran, who I thought sounded pretty good on that song.
He did. They got to let him sing, so that was fun.
Which, by the way, book fans, obviously, that's a song from the books, written in a different context, but still, good to see that. Hello from Italy, says Francesco Petrillo. Thank you very much, Francesco. We're happy to have you. And thank you all for watching. This is going to be fun. And Pamela thought Edmure was in the Blackfish's Castle dungeons at River Run. That's possible, too. We're not sure where he is. Anyway, what happens when Arya runs into Ed Sheeran and company?
She sits down with them. They invite her to eat dinner or whatever animal that was. And
rabbit or something.
they just start talking about where they're from, where they're going. They ask her where she's going. She goes, well, I'm going to King's Landing. They're like, why? And she goes, to kill the queen. They all laugh. They think she's kidding. She laughs too. But she's not.
Apart from, she's not. Now, apart from telling us where she's going, what was the point of this scene, do you think?
To include Ed Sheeran.
I think you're probably right. That's another.
To write him in the show.
I think there are 3 parts. I think it's
Tell us, Dan.
To show us where she's going, King's Landing, kill the queen.
Yep.
Fine to have Ed Sheeran. But I also think it was important to establish that they were all Lannister soldiers, you know. The Lannisters are the enemies.
Yeah.
But they're doing a thing where they're reminding us that, again, it's like the little people aren't the ones who are making all these plans. They're not blowing up people in septs. They're not being evil. They're not trying to kill humanity. Mostly they're just soldiers. They're just walking around.
I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen there because she was kind of like eyeing around, looking at the swords, looking at where everything was. I didn't know if she was going to like take out this whole little group.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. I was kind of nervous for them actually, like considering what she's done.
They seem nice.
They did. I think it's important to remember that like the big lords fight their battles, but the soldiers, they don't really, they're just kind of
they don't really have a choice.
One way or the other. No,
Right.
they don't. And also, I thought it was interesting. So Arya killed a lot of people at the Twins, all of Walder Frey's brood.
Yeah.
Like, she couldn't have known that all of them were personally involved in support of the Red Wedding. What if one was
Doesn't
like
matter,
out
Dan.
visiting
You've got to wipe
in-laws?
them all out just in case.
Okay.
Visiting in-laws.
I mean, possibly. Is that the case? Do you believe we wipe them all out? Because I'm thinking, I saw that scene and I was like, well, these people are enemies, but they seem nice enough. Did they deserve to die by Arya's hand? Just because
They
they're
were
on
all
the opposite
cheering
side?
about the killings. They were all cheering about the killings
Well,
when she was
peer pressure.
rattling through them. So you don't think she should have killed everybody?
I think she is maybe a little consumed with vengeance to the point where she's not. She might be willing. You know, when you make a big gesture like that, some folk might get caught in the crossfire who don't deserve to be.
Sure.
And I wonder if showing us her getting along with these enemy combatants is a way of showing that, like, to make us think of maybe she should
Take that into consideration
Take a
next
thought.
time she decides to
murder
commit a mass
800
murder.
people. Yeah.
Right.
But that's where she is now, and they should go on to.
She did leave the women alive.
She did. She left the women alive. Points out Kendi, which was nice of her.
She even stopped one of them from drinking the wine.
Yeah, I think that was Walder Frey's new wife. But I don't know. I think Arya might have acted a little too boldly there. And I'm betting there's at least one guy in there who wasn't on board who is now dead.
Oopsie.
But that's always the issue with Arya. How far does she go? Where does she stop being likable? Apparently not yet.
I still like her.
Let's go on to another person in the Riverlands, the Hound. One of the strangest section of the episode, I thought, but also one of the ones that was most liked, and I thought very, very kind of contemplative.
I think the Hound's in like my top 5 favorite characters.
He's really come up. He's done a good job. Anyway, what happens in here? They're traveling near the Riverlands, the Hound with the Brotherhood Without Banners.
Yep.
And did you recognize where they were holed up?
Yeah, the house that he and Arya were at, where did he kill the dad, or like
He didn't kill him.
Did
He bopped him on the head and he took his gold and then he left.
left him for dead?
I mean, yeah, he might as well have killed
With
him.
the daughter, he said Winter will get him anyway.
Yeah.
Goes back and then he
He
didn't want to go in the
did.
house. It did, yeah. He didn't want to go in the house. He was like, no, we're good. They ended up going in, and you see the skeletons in the corner with the daughter sitting on the dad's lap.
Right, that was rough.
That was sad.
It was a
But
very painterly composition. I thought I liked the shot, but that's neither here nor there. Go on.
and he's soft now. He woke up in the middle of the night
Soft.
to bury the bodies, and then said a prayer over them, and I think he felt bad.
He did feel bad, and that's a change for him because it wasn't too long ago that he was, murdering people left and right for kicks.
Right.
Not for kicks, but burning people left and right. What changed since then?
He found God.
I mean, no,
He found religion.
I think that's wrong.
With his little hippie group in the
He
woods.
did. I mean, the Hound has always been a cynic, always been a pessimist. I think he was like dragged into religion, kicking and screaming, but he did seem to kind of find a sort of peace that now he's more in touch with his feelings. He's grown as a person.
Right.
And he's a bit more sympathy than before. Do you think, what's that mean for him going forward? Like, if he sees Brienne or Arya again, the women who, A, beat the crap out of him, and then B, left him for dead, is he big enough to forgive them now?
I think so, yes.
I feel like that's where it's probably going.
Plus, I feel like, I don't know, they'd all be better working together.
They definitely would. But the Hound is a volatile character. The other thing he did this week, was look into the fire stoked by Thoros of Myr, a red priest of Melisandre's order, the same club they belong to. And he saw a vision, which is what Melisandre does. She looks into the fire, she sees stuff, and that's how she knows all her freaky things.
Right.
What, if anything, does that mean? Did you see it coming? What are your thoughts on that?
So he saw everything that was going to happen with like the wall.
He saw the wall. He saw the army of the dead. He saw a castle called Eastwatch by the Sea.
He said he saw ice.
He did.
In the fire.
Oh, which is, ice and fire. Making the connections.
Remember that day we watched ice melt for 2 hours?
I'll never forget that day. We watched ice melt for 3 hours. That was an intense day. I think it was interesting because the Hound, again, is this cynic, pessimistic character, but here, like, the last person you expect to have, like, a religious revelation of any kind, but here he is having one. He seemed like really good at it, too. Mm-hmm. The other bit that's ironic was that he has that lifelong fear of fire, remember?
Oh, yeah, because of his face.
Oh, yeah, his face is burned all to hell. And so there's an irony in him being able to find some kind of awakening or vision in fire when that's the thing he's most afraid of.
And he wasn't afraid of it.
He wasn't, because he was like seeing stuff, and he was like, ooh, cool.
He's coming a long way.
He is. He's developed quite a lot. I like the scene where he buried them. I liked that dialogue. I liked the scene. I enjoyed the scene a lot. Mm-hmm. And he's heading north, so I wonder if he'll cross paths with anyone else in that area.
One can only hope. I just want him to reunite with Arya at some point.
I
want to see her face when she sees that he's alive.
Okay, any other comments here? Cool. Michael Michel Trala was expecting this new season to be over the top since episodes were less, but no, he wasn't that impressed. He's going back to reading, which is fine. To read the books. The show is pretty beyond the books at this point. I think they're going to kind of diverge for a while, maybe have the same ending.
Okay.
And I think it'll be fun after everything is out. We'll kind of have two alternate versions of the same story. Which would be interesting.
Okay.
Fun. Anyway, one person the Hound might run into is Bran, who is up north of the Wall, although he's finally gotten back.
Yep.
On his way to Winterfell. What does Bran see before he gets let into Castle Black?
The White Army.
The White Army.
The White Walkers.
The White Walkers, the Army
the
of the Dead.
People.
Kenny Adamo says, how about the White Giants?
So yeah, is that the same? Is that a different giant?
Different giant.
Okay.
I mean, they're a whole race of giants. The one who was south of the Wall with Jon, he got killed by Ramsay.
Right.
But I
didn't know if he came back as a zombie or something.
I don't think he did. And even if he did, that's north of the Wall they are. Like,
True.
He's south of the Wall, so that can't possibly be him. And there were a few giants in that crowd.
That's terrifying.
That's really terrifying. I mean, how do you fight that?
They're scary.
Giant
not
zombies?
Not in zombie form.
That's going to be difficult for them. I also love that shot, the way like the mist rolled in ahead of the crowd.
Yeah.
It was very affecting. And then Bran
Opening
sees it.
scene.
Opening scene? Well, besides Arya. This is
Right,
a massacre.
yes, after the credits.
Right. Yeah, the White Giant was a shocker. I agree, Mandy Jinx. And then they get let into Castle Black. Mm-hmm. Any impressions of this bit?
They needed some verification first.
They did. And
he's like, I'm Jon Snow's brother. Prove it.
And then as proof, Bran just kind of rattled off the worst moments of Dolores Ed's life. He was like, you were the first men, you were at the massacre at Hard, have you seen the Night King? I don't know how that proves it's him, but I guess it made him interesting enough to look at the tunnel.
Yep. Okay, we'll let you in.
And they're heading to Winterfell probably.
And she no longer has to push him.
Oh, thank God. I really feel for her, for Mira Reed, dragging that kid around the north in a sled. Ugh, just...
In the cold.
She must be swole, though, under all those petticoats.
Oh, for sure.
Her arms have to be, ripped. But we'll see where they go next week. I'm guessing to Winterfell.
Yep.
Hopefully to reunite with the rest of them. And meanwhile, at Winterfell, there's plenty of drama happening. particularly with Jon and Sansa.
Yeah.
They were clashing a bit.
They were.
What happened between them this week?
I think this is good for them, though.
I did too. I mean, it didn't seem like it was acrimonious or really mean-spirited. They had differences of opinion, but they seemed to be working them out more or less. So, what did they clash over?
The Oath Breakers?
Yeah, they clashed over that because, you know, in the Battle of the Bastards, there were some northern houses who sided with Ramsay. Mm-hmm. And then the leaders of those died in the battle.
Yeah.
And then the issue is,
So
what do we do with their castles?
That was their kids?
Yeah, those were their kids.
So now they're all one.
I mean, yeah, at least
Did he kind of like
swore.
take them in? Yes. Okay.
They swore allegiance to House Stark.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's possible that could be, like, Sansa doesn't think that should happen. Sansa thinks, I mean, the family's sided with Ramsay. We shouldn't let their kids continue the legacy. Let's give the castle to somebody else, someone who supported us. What do you think about that debate?
I can see both sides, but
Me
again,
too,
I think
which I
that
like.
it's better if everyone's unified. She just wanted different people to run the castles.
Well, her idea was, I mean, why...
They're kids, they're young and impressionable.
I mean, with kids, though, sometimes on this show, like Arya was a kid, you killed her father, and now she's murdering everybody who ever hurt her.
The serial killer of Westeros.
So, I mean, you kill the people's father, and basically what Jon is saying is, okay, your dads betrayed their oaths, they died in battle. We're going to trust you, though, to keep faith.
Well, it's also a good lesson.
It is.
Look what happens.
But it's a risk.
Yeah.
Like, they might end up being really faithful to House Stark, or they could, like Sansa seems to suspect, maybe not be trustworthy with it because they want to revenge their parents, which again, totally happens. I mean, see Arya Stark, Exhibit A through Z. So they have that debate, and then Renee Davis Tracy watched it 3 times already this episode. I agree, awesome episode. Ooh. Mercy over vengeance, says Rita Hardenbrook. That's Jon's approach.
Yes.
Where Sansa is more vengeance over mercy. And I can see both points.
Sansa's seen a lot of crap in her time.
She has. I mean, Jon got killed and came back to life.
Yeah.
They've both seen a lot of crap. Later, they clash over whether Sansa should have brought this up in the meeting at all. What do you think about that?
He didn't like that she questioned his authority in front of everyone because it makes him look weak as a leader, and I get that.
Yeah, I get that too. I also get that, I mean, if she thought she could change his mind before he made a proclamation, she wanted to speak up then.
Right.
What I like about these scenes is that I see both their perspectives and pretty much all of what they're saying. So that's good.
I think it's a typical brother-sister relationship.
You think? Yeah, because you have a brother.
Yeah.
I don't have any sisters. So this rings true to life
Difference
to you?
of opinion? Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're not rulers, but...
No. I'm sure you still must squabble about things occasionally.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So do you think they're good for now? There's no danger of anything worse happening?
No, I think they're good. And I think it's good that she does question him on stuff to make him, think it through.
Right. The one part that was a little grating was when Jon said, like, how should I be smarter? Listen to you? And she said, would that be so terrible?
Well, because she said that, what did she make a point that, why am I blanking on his name?
Ramsay, Littlefinger.
Her husband.
Oh, Tyrion, Joffrey.
Joffrey. She's like, Joffrey didn't listen to anybody, and look what happened. So.
Yeah. Jon was like, you can't say it, because that's a bit harsh. I know Joffrey. He was so hurt. He didn't even know Joffrey, and he still knows some reputation. The other thing that happened there was, so Littlefinger is still in the mix.
Yep.
Still slinking around.
Their conversation was funny. I liked it.
How so?
He came over and asked Sansa if she's happy, content, feels safe. She's like, yeah, I feel safe. I'm here. I've got my friends. I've got Brienne. He's like, well, what about being happy? And at that point, Brienne walks up. She's like, what did she say? She says something. She's like,
there was no need to seize the last word, Lord Baelish.
I'm sure it was something clever. Yeah. She's a little witty one, that Sansa.
Yeah, she's developed too. They've all come so far, all these folk. Should she be accommodating Littlefinger more? Because as she pointed out, he does have the Knights of the Vale at his command. He has an army.
I think it's going to get to a point where she's not going to have a choice.
Probably. The other
until
issue
he finally
is,
lays it down.
I mean, I have an idea. I wonder if she could maybe steal command of the Knights from him somehow. Perhaps marry Robin Arryn, the little breastfeeding boy.
Oh no. Isn't that her cousin?
No. Wait. Oh, I guess it is, isn't it? Crap, it is her cousin. Oh, we've seen worse. I mean, I don't think she wants to be beholden to Littlefinger, but she is, because he has an army. And if I were her, I'd look for ways to take control of Knights of the Vale from
I thought
him.
for sure he was going to try to marry her.
Oh, I'm sure he wants to. And I don't think I think Brienne came along at a fortuitous moment to cockblock that, and just to not let him get any further.
I'm glad she has Brienne, for sure.
Brienne's great. Brienne is true blue, steadfast and loyal. She's going to be there. She is. She's just doing that. And she was training Podrick, just beating the crap out of him, which is also fun. Podrick's cool too, so I'm glad those two are together. The last bit was Cersei sent them a letter, basically saying,
"Oh yeah,
kneel
come
before
here
me or be destroyed," was
die.
the gist of it. Do you think they'll obey that?
Yes and no. If they do, I think they'll come with an army.
Oh, sure, good call. So yeah, we'll
Or they'll have something
negotiate
up
with
their
you,
sleeve.
but we're not going to just kneel before you.
They're not just going to
without
roll
question.
over. Yeah.
I mean, the other debate they had, the final one, was what should we be paying attention to? The Night King in the north or Cersei in the south?
Oh, right.
Any opinion on that?
And Jon said, well, I've seen
Yeah,
the King of
they're
the
ice
North, and
zombies coming.
Cersei,
They're
or
bad.
Sansa was like, well, I've seen Cersei, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I'd be more fearful of the White Walkers at this point.
They're a little closer, but the wall is there.
Yeah. Guess we'll see.
It's a
Dan.
choice. They have choices to make, and I like that they're going to debate and make them. I really enjoyed those parts this week. Speaking of what Cersei's up to, we go down to King's Landing. This map is beautiful, but I can't. Here it is, King's Landing. To see what those two crazy kids
It's like
are
a
doing.
solar picture. We've got the clouds and everything.
I know. By supposedly human, very nice work on DeviantArt. I wrote it on my hand.
Oh.
Ooh, Bran. Rita thinks that Bran broke the wall. Remember that the Night King was able to enter the Three-Eyed Raven's cave after he touched Bran in the dream, because it took away the magic. We wonder if Bran goes through the wall, that might take away the magic of the wall.
Uh-oh. I hope
But we're not sure yet, so we'll see. Anyway, King's Landing. What did Cersei and Jaime talk about?
They talked about power. Cersei basically has no soul at this point.
Why do you say that?
It's like so much tragedy happens and she just keeps powering through, like no emotion.
It is. I mean, I think she came close when Jaime brought up the fact that Tommen committed suicide.
Yeah. She goes,
Like,
well, he betrayed us.
She went straight for the wine.
Yep.
I saw that.
Straight for the wine.
Like, actually, the first scene, like, she didn't have any, and I was like, what's wrong? But then
Cersei
after
doesn't have wine.
Tommen got brought up, she went straight for the booze.
Yep.
And
She goes, well, he betrayed us.
And she got a little emotional. I don't think she's allowing herself to think about it. I'm not sure she's grieved properly.
No. For
So
any of her
she's-
children.
Right. So she's just powering through this, kind of being a dark queen, holding on to power, in a way, and partly to avoid thinking about the fact that all her kids are dead.
Right.
Is my summation. But they have some problems, because as she said, they have enemies everywhere. The North is not friendly to them. Sansa's not going to like
Nope.
to work with Cersei.
She had some choice words for these people as well.
She did.
When
She
she
was being quite vulgar.
Pulling them out.
Perhaps she was a little in the bag already, it's possible. You got the Dornish, Ilaria Sand and her brood down here. You got Olenna Tyrell, who is obviously, after Marjorie's death, not going to be pleased. You got Daenerys coming in. They have a lot of enemies.
Yep.
How are they going to fight
Got
them?
enemies. Got a lot of enemies.
That's a song. I don't know what it is, but it sounds great.
Drake, I think. How are they going to fight them, you ask?
Yeah, I mean, how are they going to defend against all of those people who want to kill them?
Enter Euron, an army.
Enter Euron Greyjoy and
Euron.
his giant fleet.
What'd I say?
Eh,
Euron?
Yeah, I think that's what you said. That's
Oh,
right.
okay.
Euron.
Euron? Anyway, yes.
There's a meme of
he
that
got a
somewhere.
haircut
He did. He got a haircut. I thought he kind of looked like
and eyeliner.
he was wearing guy liner. He was wearing kind of a Hot Topic chic. It was like if Jack Sparrow ran a Hot Topic.
I was just going to say, if Jack Sparrow ran a Hot Topic, that's the best description you've ever had about anything on the show, Dan.
I thought of it last night, and I wrote it on my little recap.
Good. That's exactly
So,
what he looked like.
I prepped that joke. But yeah, I mean, he did. He looked very fashionable. He's Theon and Yara's uncle. Remember him, he won the election, Kangaroo Court, last season. He's come with his big fleet. What you make of this guy? This is kind of the longest, I think the best impression we've gotten of him so far.
He's very confident in himself.
He is. He's very confident.
A lot
very
of confidence,
cocky,
that one.
A lot of swagger.
Came in and just like straight up proposed to Cersei. Like, I've always wanted a beautiful lady in my life.
How is that as a line?
And I've got two good hands, something like that.
I laughed at a couple of those. Like Jaime was right
appalled.
there.
Jaime was appalled.
It's like I got a fleet of ships and I got two good hands.
I think Jaime's threatened a little bit.
Should he be?
I think he's kind of doesn't know at this point where he stands with Cersei, and
good point. I mean,
feels like maybe she could flip on him at any time because she's all about power.
And yeah, I mean, after you blow up like several city square blocks, like you're capable of anything. So we're not sure what she'll do.
Didn't she even ask him? She's like, "You don't trust me, or do I scare you, or something?"
Yeah.
He goes, should I be scared?
And he didn't quite respond 100%. So I'd be scared of her. So perhaps Euron could be dangerous.
Jody thinks Euron's going to be worse than Ramsay.
That would be unfortunate because Ramsay was the worst.
I don't know if you can top Ramsay, but
I mean,
the guy did kill his brother.
He killed his brother. I also like that bit. He was like, "You killed your brother. You should try it sometime." Again, with Jaime right there.
Yeah.
So he's a confident guy. And then he left
Ballsy.
to, bring Cersei a gift to prove his loyalty.
I'm
I like the
thinking
scene.
what's going to be the gift?
I mean, I have an idea because I've been paying attention to the spoilers and stuff.
Tyrion?
What do you think? That's a possibility.
I think Tyrion.
I mean, again, we talked about this last week. Like, Tyrion's well protected. They're behind all Daenerys' army.
What else would they really want?
I mean, Cersei is perhaps he'll go kill some of her enemies. I mean, it's
Sansa?
not. She has. Oh, Sansa. Ugh, that'd be rough. Oh, poor Sansa. Can you imagine just being brought
Dan,
back?
do you know what the gift is?
I have a very good idea.
You're going to tell us or not?
Euron
Did I
is
guess
going
any of
to
them?
go. Actually, no. Euron is going to go and try and kill one of Cersei's many enemies. Because she has a lot. We went to them already. They have Olenna. They have the Sand Snakes. They have Sansa and Jon. They have Daenerys and all of her crew.
So it's either going to be Olenna or Sand Snake people.
It might be, but it might not be. Y'all don't know.
We'll have to find out.
We'll have to find out. I like the scene, though. I thought it was fun. The most fun I've had with that character so far, I thought.
So what? He comes back with a gift and then she'll marry him?
I mean, or at least make a formal alliance.
He wants marriage.
He does want marriage.
He wants to marry a queen.
Do you think that would happen?
I wouldn't put it past her.
No. I mean,
I want something to separate her and Jaime. I want Jaime to go to the good side. Because I feel like deep down, he can be good. So I want him to join forces with someone else.
Gina Cooper thinks that Jaime will be full of surprises this season. She has a feeling he's going to look past his own interests and those of the family since he's basically lost them all except Tyrion. So it'll be interesting. Plus, he's basically a more reasonable leader than anybody else. I think he is going to be one to watch this year because he has a lot of contradictory emotions stirring up there. Anyway, moving on. We have, so we go down to Old Town, where Samuel Tarly is currently working as a grunt medical student, I guess, at the Citadel, the only college in Westeros. Go ahead.
Don't eat breakfast and watch this scene at the same time.
I didn't like this montage.
This was disgusting.
It was gross.
It was too far.
The bedpan montage. I mean...
And they kept gagging.
Yeah.
The food was nasty.
And they was comparing to the food looked like the bedpan contents.
Wait, I'm confused. I thought he was at a library, not a hospital.
He's at the Citadel. So the Citadel is an all-purpose seat of learning. It's like a medical college. It's a huge library.
Oh, so he's like a nurse and a scholar and a surgeon.
Because again, this is fake medieval times. It's like when you're a doctor, you're actually everything. It's like you're just a smart person is a job. They weren't specialized enough to just actually have doctor and a strategist.
Like Little House on the Prairie.
I never saw it, but I assume so, yeah. So they do it all. They get their degree, let's say, in medieval medicine, which is probably quackery. They get it in strategy. They learn to read. Remember, because this is a world where a lot of them can't read. Mm-hmm. So the folk who are here are the ones who can actually read. They get it in history. That's where they learn all their stuff. And Sam does fit into that area because he's a smarty. But apparently, in order to get trained up, you have to do some grunt work first,
start
which
at the very
includes
bottom.
cleaning bedpans, which is
Oh
gross.
my gosh, it was so nasty.
I also didn't like I didn't like that it was so kind of stylized and cut quickly like that, because Game of Thrones doesn't do that a lot. It's usually very straightforward, and like the way it cuts together things, it's like, here's the scene, and here's the dialogue, and here's the actors. But here it was kind of getting cute, where it was like cutting together really quickly.
It was like the one song from Chicago, the musical.
Which one?
The one where they talk about all the
They Had
murders.
It Comin'?
They Had It Comin', yes.
It's a great song. We should sing it sometime.
Like, you know the beginning where it's like pop, 6. Anyway.
Squish, Cicero, yes.
Lip shits.
A little bit. So I wasn't a fan of that.
No, it was filmed weird. Like, ugh.
I mean, it's like in some movie that could work fine. I just didn't like it for Game of Thrones. I thought it was too far afield of their style.
They did a lot of
Which I'm
different
sure you're
stylized
really
things.
listening to me, HBO, about that. Take notes. I liked the scene with the Archmaester, Marwyn, played by Oscar winner Jim Broadbent, better, where they were performing an autopsy.
Yeah.
And Sam's basically saying, I want access to the restricted section. And I just have to say, Jim Broadbent played Professor Slughorn in the Harry Potter movies, and we're talking about the restricted section, also a plot point in those. It gave me serious Harry Potter deja vu.
I saw a lot of that on Twitter last night.
I can believe it. It
People
totally
were
makes
freaking
sense.
out, yeah.
Anyway, he wants the restricted section because he wants to find out about the White Walkers. What does the Archmaester tell him?
Doesn't he tell him, like, you don't need to worry about that? Or what did he?
He basically did. He
He's
basically
like, oh,
said,
it's just a myth.
he said it's not really a myth. He believed him, but he said, look, we at the Citadel, we have access to thousands of years of history.
Why do you want to, yeah.
Whenever there's been like an apocalyptic event,
People have
we
lived.
get through it.
Winter comes and goes, people are still here.
I mean, this winter isn't special.
He he downplayed it a lot.
I mean, I actually kind of thought that was a decent point. I mean, because there is a giant wall, and for all we know, they don't have a way to breach it. Maybe this is all in their heads. Maybe this is all in Jon Snow's and Sam's heads that the White Walkers are on their way and going to kill everybody. I kind of doubt it for dramatic purposes. But for that scene, I thought it worked. But Sam
has killed one.
they exist beyond the wall, but how do we know they're going to get past the wall? That thing is big. I'll
They're
take
crazy.
your silence as assent.
Yeah, I'm worried for them.
But anyway, Sam, plucky kid that he is, stole some keys from a sleeping maester, got into the restricted section, took back some books, and what did he find when he was reading them with Gilly back in his dorm room, I guess, wherever he was staying?
He found that there is a ton of, is it dragon
glass.
glass buried under Dragonstone.
Under Dragonstone. And
And he must tell Jon.
He must tell Jon. What's happening at Dragonstone right now?
Daenerys
Which is
just landed.
right here, near King's Landing.
With her army.
With her army, with her posse, with
All in silence.
her new outfit, which is pretty rockin'.
I love it when they get new clothes.
Me too. I mean, I imagine they were just bored over the giant sea journey here and just got to sewing. So they come over, and yeah, there's this big silent scene where they kind of walk through, and Daenerys touches the sand to kind of feel her homeland. I liked that. They showed off the set, which was very impressive. The big old dragon heads outside her new throne. What'd you think of this?
I liked it. I liked the way they did it. I thought it was very artsy, dramatic effect.
I liked it
by
too.
no talking, just all sight and sound, and the music when they walked in.
It was good.
Her throne, Tyrion following behind. I liked it. I liked this scene.
I
And
did
then she
too.
says it the one line at the end, and
Shall we begin? And then, bam.
we did forget one thing.
We did.
When Sam is collecting.
As Corinne points out, why was Jorah locked up?
Yes. Okay, that's what I was going to get to. Why is he there? Are
Well,
they
okay, so last time we saw
examining
him,
his scales.
that's my guess. So last time we saw him, Dany said, go find the cure to your grayscale. And what Dany says, Jorah does.
Yep.
So remember, the Citadel is the seat of learning. That's where the greatest medical minds in Westeros are. So I'm thinking that's where he would go.
Okay.
And he's kept in a cell because grayscales create the contagious.
And it looked like it was spreading all over his
Looked like it
arm.
was bad. I like that he's kind of like this kind of, all he's doing is just thinking of Daenerys and just like whispering her
What do
name
you say?
into the
Did
dark
the
over
mother
and over.
of dragons land yet?
The
Or
mother of dragons come yet? It's like, no, get away from me, you inappropriate person.
I jumped during that part. It scared me.
Yeah, he's become a little creepy. I wonder if they'll be able to cure him. And yeah, don't worry, we commented on Jorah. Somebody said that Dany looks heavy metal now. Went down there. I agreed with that. She looked pretty badass in her black and red, like just kind of rock Westeros. What are you looking forward to next week?
What am I looking forward to next week? I want to see more of Daenerys. Why do they always end with her? I feel like she's always the last part of every episode, or close to it.
I mean, she's not. They know lots of different people.
But do you notice
I agree
that? Isn't she like always towards the end, or not? Like even if she is in the middle, they always I feel like end with her.
I mean, they
Especially
don't
in the
always.
earlier seasons. Anyway.
They definitely ended some important episodes with her. Like last episode of the season 6 finale, it was her with her boats moving on. I think in this case, what they're thinking is it can get a little grating. That she's making a big move. This is important. This is a 6-season
like,
build-up.
Endings.
But I mean, they don't always end with her. Like, remember Battle of the Bastards end with Sansa feeding Ramsay to dogs. One before that ended with Arya leaving the House of Black and White. One before that ended with the Hound finding all his
Not every
dead.
episode, but often.
I could like literally go through the last 10 in my head right now. I won't tell you how many ended with Dany. The Door ended with Hodor dying.
Oh my
The
gosh.
6th episode ended with Dany on her dragon. Okay, so point that.
We believe
Episode
you,
4 was with Dany. Okay, yeah, I guess Dany does do a lot of stuff. They do end
I
with her a
stand
lot.
corrected.
No, actually, I discovered that they do end with her a whole lot. But she's important, and we'll be seeing what she does next
I'm
week.
excited about that. I'm excited about. I'm curious what. Well, Arya. Arya, I think, is what I'm most interested in.
I agree.
Right now.
She's in a good place. As Liz Asbrook points out, was that Nymeria in the trailer? Did you watch the trailer for the next episode afterwards?
I did not.
It's fine. And there's a little snippet
didn't get
of
that far.
Arya looking at a big old wolf. So it might be.
Direwolf.
Remember her direwolf from way back in season 1?
She's sent away.
She had to like throw stones at it to like go on get because they were gonna kill it.
Oh, that was sad. That was awful.
That was sad because
I
they were
don't
gonna kill it
like
otherwise. So she might run into it again. That'd be very exciting. Well, guys, this has been a blast. We're going to be here every week. We'll have guests. We're going to have giveaways very soon. Don't worry, we're going to give away swag and stuff.
Drinks.
Hopefully drinks. We should totally have drinks. I was up late, but I feel fine. I can have a drink.
I feel like you need coffee.
I do not need coffee. I feel really good. Maybe I'll crash right after
Dan's
this.
going to be asleep at his desk at 2 o'clock, mark my words.
I'm glad you guys commented. If you have any other thoughts or feelings, please let us know. Let's scroll through here really quick to see if anything we didn't address. Well, here, let's address one. Brandon Meadows says, we know the White Walkers breached the wall because Bran saw it in his vision. Did we?
They were walking to.
Yeah, they were walking toward it. I don't think we saw them breach it, but we'll see what happens soon enough. Anyway, thanks, Kayla. Looking forward to this journey with you.
This is fun, Dan. Thank you.
Thanks again to Supposedly Human for letting us use the map, or for the map. And we'll all see you next Monday at 10 a.m. for more Winter is Coming Live.
We'll see you guys then.